Throw the whole damn player away. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Observant Lineman. And today, my goodness, this bum, ABC, Antonio Brown, the clown, has finally crossed the line, and the Raiders are going to make an example of his ass, plain and simple. Mike Mayock, the GM for the Raiders, got into a little tiff with Antonio Brown, the clown, in practice, I guess it was yesterday. We're going to take a look at this article here from ESPN, but this guy has become notorious. This guy has become known as a notorious team destroyer. He is the anti-team player. Antonio Brown, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Let's be honest. You just got paid. What are you causing all these problems for? First was your helmet, which was just weak. That's some weak sauce, bruh. Your helmet, and now you getting into arguments, threatening to punch the GM? Get the fuck out of here, man. You are no good right now, bruh. You are no good, and it's terrible because all that talent is absolutely useless at this point. You're doing nothing for the Raiders except bringing them down further and further. For a team that's trying to get their shit together, you're just blowing them up. The Steelers are laughing at this shit. The Steelers are having a good old chuckle because they seen this a mile away, and a third and a fifth round pick was not a lot to get rid of that headache. They said, hey, take him. Take him, Raiders. And they took him, thinking that this cat was going to be any different than he was in Pittsburgh. Man. Hey, you know what? That says a lot about the way those franchises are built. Let's be real. The Steelers have seen it. They've been there. They've done that. And they look at this player and they say, hell the fuck no. Get him out of here. We don't even need a whole lot. A third and a fifth round pick, you could take him. Throw the whole player away. And look, the Raiders, they got the biggest circus on earth right now in sports. Because this guy is totally out. I mean, this guy's out of his goddamn mind. Let's be real. Any other player would have been cut at the helmet antics. They would have been cut. This dude is a cancer. He is a cancer to this team the same way he was a cancer to the Steelers. And right now, the Raiders are in an awfully unique position. We're going to get to that here real quick in a second. But let's take a look at this article from ESPN. Antonio Brown's and Raiders general manager Mike Mayock got into a heated exchange Wednesday, and the team is now planning to suspend its star wide receiver, league sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter. And you know what? Postscript. Adam Schefter, he is a fucking shill, and he is a bum. Any NFL player who has this guy's number, who has this guy's info, after what he did to Andrew Luck, cancel his ass. Don't give him no info if you're a player. That dude humiliated Andrew Luck. Anyways, there are some within the Raiders that want the organization to move on from the Mercurial Brown. Look at this. Are you serious? They're already talking about cancel this cat. And he ain't even played in one regular season game yet. That, to me, I mean, the writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall, and he has nobody to blame but himself because he's a fucking idiot. You are an idiot. And if there's nobody in this guy's circle who can sit him down and say, look, A, B, C. Dude, you got paid. You got weight now. You got a legacy you can build. Man, just do like Dave Chappelle said and shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. But he can't. His ego is too big. His arrogance is it has grown to levels that can't be controlled. He may find himself playing in the XFL before long if he keeps this shit up. I'm telling you. Because NFL teams don't care too much about your talent if you're just destroying all the chemistry the team has. All right, let's get back to this. The confrontation, according to Schefter, stemmed from Brown's Instagram post Wednesday when he displayed a letter from Mayock that detailed about $54,000 in fines for missing time during training camp. Okay, so from a player's perspective, because I've seen this happen before. Yes, he got that letter on his chair in the locker room after his time away after missing time during training camp. They're going to fine you. Yes, they are going to fine you. The team will fine you. But that's something that he can have negotiated down after the fact. They'll fine him. They'll send the paperwork. He can go have a sit down with the GM in his office alone and get those fines rescinded easily. Maurice Jones-Drew did it my 7th year in Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew wanted a new contract. He held out the entire what was it? I think it was the entire of our mandatory minicamp. He didn't show up. He didn't show up for a little while in training camp, if I remember correctly. And they fined Maurice Jones-Drew $60,000 plus. But because Maurice ended his holdout and came back to the team and joined training camp after a short time, the Jags rescinded the fines. They took the fines away. That's all. All he had to do was go in, get on the same page with the GM, tell him he's all about, he's in it to win it, show some humility. I mean, I know that's hard. Show some fucking humility. And this dude would have had those fines rescinded easily. Teams do it all the time. But this dude decides he's going to go and put the GM on blast and post the letter that he sent him on social media. A source tells ESPN's Josina Anderson that Brown and Mayock got into an argument during Wednesday's practice in front of the team. Another just cardinal sin of football. Mayock told reporters that Brown was not at the facility Thursday and will not be practicing. He did not confirm or deny that Brown will be suspended. Raiders coach John Gruden also wouldn't divulge any specifics, saying after practice that Brown wasn't here today and that I'm not going to get into all this. I've been talking about the same guy every day. Look, when coaches are making these kind of statements and GMs are making these kind of statements, to them, they've already written you off. You're already out the door as far as they're concerned. This cat has not even played in a single regular season game yet. And you're already at the wit's end with these coaches. They don't want no more to do with you, bro. You are poison to the NFL right now. To every NFL team, you're poison. They would be committing franchise suicide by even bringing you anywhere near their facilities. In the letter, Mayock informed Brown that he was being fined $13,950 for missing a walkthrough on August 22nd and unexcused absence. The letter also mentions that the team previously had fined Brown $40,000 for missing camp on August 18th. The day the GM issued this ultimatum to Brown, saying it's time for him to be all in or all out. Okay? According to the NFL's collective bargaining agreement, a player can be suspended a maximum of 4 weeks for conduct detrimental to the team. On Wednesday, an agitated Brown did not stretch with the team during warmups, but then joined the receivers group for individual drills. Even then, he took plays off, which was unusual for Brown, whose hard-charging practice habits are well known. After catching one pass from Carr, Brown jogged towards the end zone and fired the football into the fence. You are a baby. There's no place for you in a man's league if you're going to be a baby. You just got paid. Come on, man. You just got paid. What is the problem? I don't get it. It irritates me because as an offensive lineman, nobody gives a damn how we feel. Nobody gives a damn what we think. Go block somebody. You know what I mean? If we're hurt, rub some dirt on it. Nobody cares. But this guy, a diva, total diva. They coddle them. They pander to them. They give them tons of money. And look at how they act. Look how they act. And I'm not even going to say all receivers because this dude is clearly one single unique case. But look at this. This guy is literally acting like a 10-year-old. Take your ball and go home. Oh my goodness. Brown was also overheard barking at strength and conditioning coach before the media window closed on practice. So he's yelling at the weight training coach. What you yelling at him for? He just wants you to be in shape. He declined to speak in the locker room after practice on Wednesday, saying he would talk Thursday. It has been an adventurous offseason for the Mercurial receiver and the Raiders, who parted with 3rd and 5th round picks to acquire Brown from the Pittsburgh Steelers in March and gave him a 3-year, $30 million extension after he showed up to training camp with frostbite on the bottom of his feet from a cryotherapy treatment mishap in France. He left camp for 2 weeks seeking therapy, which included laser treatment. While many in the front office wondered whether Brown could be trusted after his second departure, he seemed to be on his best behavior of late, even as he skipped out on mandatory walkthrough the morning of the Raiders exhibition in Winnipeg, Manitoba on August 22nd. The letter from Mayock, which many saw as more of a warning against future behavior than an actual attempt to recoup money, like I said before, he would have sat in the office with this cat. He would have had those fines taken back and rescinded. They were just wanting to make sure they got through to him that, look, season's about to start. You need to start acting right because we're not going to play this game during the regular season. Seemed to set Brown off, and the team has to wonder whether Brown will ever play for the Raiders. The Raiders open their season on Monday night with the home game against AFC West rival Denver Broncos. So they have an actual division game to start the season. And, you know, division games those are the hardest games to win. I mean, those games are 2 chin strap games. That's what we call them. But there's doubt whether this cat is even going to play in the first game of the season, whether he's even going to play for this team. And he hadn't even been on the field yet. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to say this, you know, as a player, as somebody who's been there, as somebody who's had their own frustrations as a player on the field, you never, ever go after people like the GM and the head coach. You don't do that. You got a problem. You do it. You handle that behind closed doors for one. You go into somebody's office, shut the door, sit down and respectfully tell them this is how you feel as a grown man, as an adult, as a professional. This is how I feel. This is what I do like. This is what I don't like. How can we get on the same page? But this guy thinks that none of this applies to him. He tried to skirt the NFL. He tried to skirt the NFLPA. He's trying to skirt the Raiders and their organization through the GM and the head coach. And at the end of the day, once that line gets drawn, you cross that line and see what happens. One thing that puts him in a very precarious situation is that they could wipe out $29 million of his guarantees if they suspend him. It says here, and this is from Yahoo News, if the Raiders follow through on the reported plan to suspend Antonio Brown, it could end up being extremely expensive for Brown, and it could give the Raiders significant flexibility during and after the coming season. Brown's new contract with the Raiders carries with it $30.125 million in fully guaranteed money at signing. He already has earned $1 million signing bonus. The other $29.125 million comes in the form of a 2019 salary and 2020 salary. Assuming that a suspension would void the guarantees, the Raiders would be able to cut Brown at any point and owe him nothing further. If you're looking at this situation that they have, if they decide that they want to go real cutthroat on Antonio Brown, he could have only made $1 million signing with them, and they can let him go. And I promise you, if they release him, nobody else is going to sign this guy. Nobody's going to sign him. He's not worth the problems. He's not worth the headache. Quite simply, he's not worth what the baggage he brings with him. Look, people can say what they say about Randy Moss and Terrell Owens, but they did not. These guys were amazing talents that, because of a lot of times because of their passion for the game, they sometimes went overboard in how much they reacted to certain situations. But this guy just has some kind of Napoleon complex. He has to, because nobody acts like this on a regular everyday move as a professional athlete. This guy is beyond immature. He is infantile almost. I mean, come on, bro. I don't even know if infantile is a word, but you're almost as bad as a baby that screams because they're hungry rather than an adult who acts in a professional manner and plays football. So at the end of the day, I'll be honest. My honest opinion in this situation is cut him. Cut him. I mean, what you got to lose? $1 million. How many games is he going to win you, really, for you to have to deal with this kind of behavior? He's going to tear apart the core of your team. He is a cancer in every sense of the word when it comes to football. So that's my 2 cents. Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the Observant Lineman Uche Nwaneri. Tap that bell for notifications when I drop new videos. And we will talk to you on the next one. Peace.